Alright, so this is part 2 of my winter forecast. This will be a much quicker one, and basically I'll just be explaining why I will be using this as my primary forecast map, but making some changes to it. This is all from the Farmer's Almanac, so I take no credit for creating this, but I 100% agree with it. Well, almost 100% agree with it. I agree with this chilled to the bone and wet for this region and points east like this. I completely agree with this simply because I believe that the Pacific jet stream will be dipping down along with the polar jet stream and riding up. Now I also agree with this because the Pacific jet stream is riding over Washington DC, but I disagree with this region right here being freezing cold and average snowfall. I believe that these two regions right here and right here are wrong. I believe this ice cold and snow filled should dip further south and then up in this entire region. Ice cold and snow filled, simply because you will be having a very active Pacific jet stream and a very active polar jet stream. Now the polar jet stream doesn't tend to bring as much moisture loaded storms as the Pacific because it's coming off the Pacific, but you will be seeing lots of clippers along with the Pacific jet stream due to its dipping southward and then riding up. You will see Miller B type storms that will merge south of Delmarva Peninsula with a tripole formed and Greenland blocking. You could be talking about a major snow event for these regions. Now the Great Lakes will be an extremely above average snowfall this year simply because it could be a neutral to weak La Nina, and either or that promotes cold shots coming down from Canada, riding over that very warm Great Lakes sea surface temperatures that will cause a low to lake effect snow. Now, time to focus on the East Coast. I mean, this entire region right here. So I 100% agree with this penetrating cold and very wet for this region. Many people are believing that the entire region from California and out to sea will be warmer than normal and drier than normal, because I'm not sure why I don't believe that simply because I think it will be a very negative NAO, negative AO, and a very very positive PDO, which causes a ridge in the east and a ridge in the west and a trough in the east. Now, also the Pacific jet stream will be very active, and it will be merging with the polar jet stream, which would be riding up the coast and then turning in due to Greenland blocking, which would form cut-off lows, giving lots of snow for this area. Also, the warmer than average Gulf waters here would promote large storms that have the ability to build a lot quicker due to the much warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, you have cold waters here and out to sea too, promoting no mixing issues for this region right here, which would cause a very large snow event. Now, you have multiple signals pointing towards a cold winter. Some people are probably going to be like, you said that. No, I didn't say this, but because I wasn't on YouTube yet, but people said that last winter. Okay, how it ended up with the jet stream going way up north like this the entire winter, giving the East Coast barely any snow. The reason why that happened was because the El Nino intensified to way stronger than what they originally thought. They thought it would just be on the weak side of strong, and on the medium side of moderate. Between that, allowing the PDO to take effect, dipping jet stream southward and up. But even the models were showing a cold winter, and that was wrong. So I'm not relying that much trust on the models because of that. That happened very often, actually. They showed a cold winter for 2011-2012, which that was a very warm and dry winter for the eastern seaboard because the La Nina strengthened more than they originally thought. But this will be a weak La Nina, and they are still showing the jet stream riding actually north like this, with warmer than normal temperatures across the entire country. And some snow for this region, but very dry for this region and this region. So more than half of the country will be warm and dry in the model's perspective. But in my perspective, that will not happen. I believe that it will be very cold. Well, not bitter cold, but very cold and snowy for these regions right here. Well, these regions right here, just like this. But yeah, just like this, because you have a very low sunspot activity that promotes weakening of the polar vortex, and with a weaker polar vortex, that allows the cold to sink southward, and with a stronger one that comes along with higher sunspot activity that promotes a stronger polar vortex, not throwing as much cold southward. The cold may drift down to say this region, but not into the eastern United States. I'm predicting a very weak polar vortex this winter, driving the ice cold southward with a jet stream dipping southward. This is the Pacific jet stream, and this is the polar jet stream. So I believe they will take the same path. Now this is my winter forecast part 2. I will be releasing another one, winter thoughts, on Thursday. Goodbye.